AEW Dynamite for August the 30th, 2023 was not a good show. I get it. Tony Khan allowed certain people to pay respects to win the Rotunda, which that's understandable. Then there's travel issues people are having, and the CM Punk drama. So I get it, but he could have still wrote a better show than this. This was not a good show. This was not a good show. All Out looks like a mixture of Rampage and Dynamite combined. Doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. I don't get it. I don't get it. And we're going to have to do preview and predictions for All Out. I don't even know what to say because there was nothing on the show that I really cared about outside of, Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Adam Cole and his interaction with the Kingdom. That's about it. And I don't even like the Kingdom. If we're being honest, I don't like the Kingdom. But other than those two things, the show itself just wasn't good. Alright, let's go ahead and get into this show. So we kicked the show off with Jon Moxley versus Commander. Jon Moxley wins via the rear naked choke, and then he turned that into an arm bar, and Commander tapped out. So I'm fine with that. Makes sense. Match was short anyway. Moving on. So Orange Cassidy talked about his title defense later and his wild match at All In. He said he's not the same Orange Cassidy that Jon Moxley knew 4 years ago, and he'll show him why. Okay, who gives a shit? Moving on. So we go backstage to All In. The Young Bucks, this must have been pre-recorded, obviously. So they were asked a question by someone off camera. It may have been Brandon Cutler. Nobody knows. So Nick Jackson said they were disappointed in the outcome because they wanted to get their quote-unquote titles back. FTR walked in. So Dax Harwood asked why they disrespected him after the match. Matt said things didn't go the way they wanted, and he lost to school in front of 80,000. So Nick Jackson said they were disappointed. Matt said, we created this show and we lost in front of everybody. So the Young Bucks stood there and seemed, and they're ready to reconcile with FTR, and then the Bullet Club come in, Bullet Club Gold. So Jay White said they were on top of the world, and what a cute little foursome we have here. Jay said, pause. So Jay White suggested the match at All Out. Dax said he would do it next week, and then Cass suggested at All Out, and then everyone agreed. Again, that's fine, but I don't give a fuck about 8-man tags or 6-man tags or 12-man tags. I don't care. Why are we doing this? This is just to get everyone on the card. I don't care about it. Who fucking cares? Moving on. Renee Paquette is interviewing my girl, Toni Storm. She looks great. I'm loving this character so far. She looked distressed. So Renee Paquette brought up to Toni Storm the trouble within the Outcast. So Toni responded by saying Ruby Soho left her out there alone and she can't trust her anymore. Toni Storm said Saraya broke their game broke from their game plan and forgot her part to enhance her performance. Then she took digs at all her opponents and also the referee. Toni Storm said she can't calm down because she can't trust anyone. And then she wandered off fretting and threw a shoe at Renee, which was funny. So that was pretty cool there. I'm digging what Toni Storm is doing. This is great. This is absolutely good. This reminds me of Laura Van Ness, a.k.a. Chelsea Green, but a little bit better, if we're being honest. But that's just my opinion. Moving on. So Chris Jericho is in the ring. Jericho said they should be happy and festive after what happened at Wembley. He said it was one of the greatest weekends of his career. He talked about a Fozzy performance and said that the 81,000 tickets sold is a shoot, baby. He said it's a show he'll never forget. And he suggests, regrets how he treated Sammy Guevara. He didn't invite him to the ring. So, I'm going to skip through most of this because this is a long promo between Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. So, Chris Jericho basically said that he didn't think he had necessarily done it all he could to help him win the match, that being Sammy Guevara. So he watched it back and saw that he had helped him with the bat, KOing Will Ospreay. So he apologized for thinking Sammy. My bad. He apologized for not thinking he did all he could have. So he offered Sammy Guevara a handshake. Sammy paused for a second. Then he shook Jericho's hand. He said he's always going to have Jericho's back. Chris Jericho said he's trying to figure out what he would have done to beat what he could have done to beat Ospreay. And then he started, babbling on about maybe he could have held him tighter, pulled his tights. Maybe Guevara could hit him harder with the baseball bat. And then Sammy Guevara tells Jericho to say that again. Jericho does. And then Sammy Guevara responds by maybe he could have hit him harder with the Judas effect. Maybe he could have gotten it done. And then they keep doing tit for tat. And then Chris Jericho said that he's basically trying to get Sammy Guevara ready for All In next year. Guevara said he can learn how not to lose a match by watching Chris Jericho's. And then Jericho brought up Guevara's lost to MJF when he had a title shot at the AEW Championship a few months back. And they kept doing tit for tats. So anyway, long story short, Chris Jericho said, let's reunite the Sex Gods. And Sammy agrees. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is some dumb shit. This is stupid. But yeah, that was a long promo. I had to shorten it up. Had to. That was just the gist of it, if we're being honest. Moving on, so Jon Moxley was backstage with the rest of the Blackpool Combat Club minus Bryan Danielson. So, Mox said they're not about bark. Mox said the wrestlers to leave Chicago with the international title will be the wrestler with the most bite. So this leads us into Eddie Kingston versus Wheeler Yuta. New Japan Strong Openweight Championship. Eddie Kingston wins. He wins via two spinning back fist. Who cares? Moving on. So we get a video package for Adam Cole and MJF. And MJF icing himself down after his match with Adam Cole. So Adam Cole walks in and congratulates him on the win. MJF cut him off and said he almost broke his neck 6 times. He said that Tony Khan said there's going to be a battle royal to determine who faced them in All Out for the ROH tag titles, and the tournament will take place to determine who faces him at Grand Slam. He said he's going to vacation in Paris, bang some rats, and then meet him in Chi-Town and have some deep dish. Adam Cole said it sounds good. MJF said he earned a week. My bad. Adam Cole told MJF he earned a week off. Told him to get some rest. MJF said to himself, a week off finally. So that's fine there. Moving on. So Renee Paquette, she interviewed Sammy Guevara. He said that he and Jericho were on the same page. Don Callis walks in, said it's tough being Jericho's friend. Don Callis says he asked Sammy Guevara if he has trouble dealing with a sociopath like that. Callis said he just heard he's pregnant. He put his hand on the shoulder of Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara told him to take his hand off of him. He told him that he doesn't need a new family, and he told him to keep his hand out of his mouth and get lost. So Don Callis does that, and then Sammy Guevara dips out. Again, that's fine. So moving on. So Adam Cole, he comes out, and he cuts a long promo, so I'm going to shorten it up. He basically said that All In was the most special night of his career, and he thanked the fans. So he basically said that MJF's going to be okay come Sunday. Roderick Strong and the rest of the Kingdom come out, Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. So Roderick Strong said that he cares more about MJF's neck than his own neck being in a brace, that being Adam Cole. So Adam Cole said this is getting ridiculously absurd. He asked it's because he's listening to Taven. And then Matt Taven, he mentioned his history with Adam Cole, and then he got a shut the fuck up chant, which was great. I love that. Said that, Adam Cole was his best man at his wedding, and he was at his wedding and hosted his bachelor party the night before. Talked about all the arenas they traveled to, but he said Chicago's the worst. He told Adam Cole that he cares too much about what idiot fans think. So Matt Taven then responds. He chimes in, tells Adam Cole that he needed the Kingdom to take over ROH. When he achieved that, he jumped to the Bullet Club to pad his wallet with merch money. He went to Florida, a.k.a. NXT, and surrounded himself with all their friends, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong, so they could prop him up and help him hold that title as long as you did. He said that he's the same leech he's always been. And now he's latched on to that corny Melvin MJF because he thinks that's the gateway to the AEW title. He said he thinks Adam Cole thinks he's gotten where he is alone because that's the only person he's ever cared about. And Adam Cole responds, says that's not true. Then they continue to banter back and forth. Roderick Strong said that he's going to enter into the Grand Slam tournament and win the AEW Championship. I laughed my ass off. And he said, Roderick Strong said he's going to break everybody's back. And Adam Cole said that, the reason why he's going to do that is because he's a wrestling legend. Adam Cole said that's not a good idea. And then Roddy dipped out with the Kingdom. And then Adam Cole yelled at them as they left. And he said, I've done nothing wrong. So, again, I don't understand why we're doing so many damn tournaments. It makes zero sense. This is stupid. And, spoiler, the Dark Order, they won that tournament from Rampage. So, it's just like, So, all this is for naught. So, maybe they'll win the tag titles. Maybe the Kingdom will get involved. I don't fucking know. Moving on. So, we get a promo from Penta and Alex Anabres. And Alex said he took notes when he was out there with Commander earlier. So this leads us into a match I didn't watch. That was Chris Statlander, Hikaru Shida, and Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose, Emi Sakura, and Marina Shafir. Didn't watch it. Not gonna hold you guys up. Didn't watch it. All I know is that the heels won, basically. Well, I mean, Shida and the gang won. Who really gives a shit? So, post-match, Ruby Soho jumped Chris Statlander and took her title belt. Baker tried to celebrate with Shida and Statlander. And Shida seemed unconvinced that it was an accident. So, I don't know, they're going to do something there. Then we get a Shane Taylor vignette hyping his match against Samoa Joe for the ROH television title at All Out. And it's like, who really cares? And I like Shane Taylor. He's pretty okay. Moving on. So, we are backstage with Don Callis and Takeshita. So, Don Callis is doing a leading strategy session. So, he showed x-rays of Kenny Omega's damaged knee and neck. He showed Takeshita clips on the monitor of Takeshita's offense he liked and how to target vulnerable areas of Omega. Don Callis said if all else fails, his backup strategy is to utilize a screwdriver. And I was like, what the fuck? That was weird. Moving on. Now, this infuriated me. So, I'm going to keep this short. That was the Acclaimed. So, basically, they did their basic little rap. So, they were doing a ribbon cutting ceremony. So basically, Anthony Bowens got on the mic and declared it was a new era. He said that they'll be now known as the House of Ass. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Is this some kink type shit? Like, this makes no sense. The only ass I want to see is like Sky Blues and, Tony Storms. That's it. This is just so stupid. And then he tossed out the old trios titles and said that they wear pink in their house. And I'm just like, so we see a new bag of titles with pink straps. And I'm just like, what in the actual fuck? I was pissed. I'm not going to hold you up. I was pissed. This infuriated me. This was so damn stupid. I was pissed at this shit. And then they did the little scissor thing that they always do. I'm just like, man, fuck this shit. I'm out. And then the main event, Orange Cassidy versus Penta El Zero Mieira. Orange Cassidy gets the win. Didn't watch it. But I heard that Penta hit not one, but two Canadian Destroyers. One on the ring apron and one inside the ring. And Cassidy didn't sell it too well. He no-sold it, basically. And then he won he won the title with a crucifix pin for the 1, 2, 3. So he retains the title there. What else? Oh yeah, he got a promo afterwards. So he sat in a chair and said that he doesn't usually talk. Orange Cassidy said his body hurts, but he's there and he's still wrestling and he's still defending his title. Orange Cassidy said he's been told he's too short or too different, but he's the champion, so he'll continue to defend it as long as he wants, and there's nothing anyone can do to take it. He told Jon Moxley to bring more than a fork, and he said he's freshly squeezed and he does not have a catchphrase. And then that was the end of the show. I'm just like, ugh. Oh, boy. Not good. Not good. All right, let's go ahead and get into the predictions for All Out. I'm on their Wikipedia page. We got basically 9 matches. Luchasaurus with Christian Cage versus Darby Allin for the AEW TNT Championship. Luchasaurus is going to retain. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Miro. I'm torn between this because I like both guys. Both guys are great. Both guys need the win. I'm going to go with Miro winning. This needs to be a feud, though. This doesn't need just to be a one-off and then that's it. Nah, they need to have this be a feud. Ruby Soho versus Chris Statlander for the TBS Championship. Chris Statlander. Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley for the AEW International Championship. Jon Moxley should win that one for sure. It's time for Orange Cassidy to do something else. Next, Kenny Omega versus Tenosuke Takeshita with Don Callis. Takeshita's going to win. The 8-man tag, Bullet Club Gold versus FTR and the Young Bucks. I don't really care who wins this. It'll probably be Bullet Club Gold getting the win. Then we have Better Than You, Baby, Adam Cole, MJF versus the Dark Order. That's going to be John Silver and Alex Reynolds. Who gives a fuck? For the ROH World Tag Team Championships. I'm pretty sure the Kingdom's going to interfere, and the Dark Order will be the new ROH World Tag Team Champions. Next, Samoa Joe versus Shane Taylor for the ROH World Television Championship. Shane Taylor. Samoa Joe needs to do something better. Ring of Honor is dead. It's dead. And then we have Eddie Kingston and Tatsuya Shibata versus Claudia Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. I'm going to go with Eddie Kingston and Tatsuya Shibata. I don't know what the main event's going to be. I really don't. It could be Darby and Luchasaurus, but I doubt it. It could be Jon Moxley and Orange Cassidy. Nobody knows. It could be Omega and Takeshita. Nobody knows. But this go-home show for All Out was not good. This would have been better if Tony would have gotten out of Chicago and at least tried to do All Out for, I want to say, September 23rd, which is a week before NXT No Mercy on September 30th. That's what I would have done if I was Tony Khan. But this show was not good. It just was not good. And All Out, just like Payback, is just going to be a throwaway pay-per-view, if we're being honest. But what do you guys think of the show? Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to my videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.